More roster announcements becoming official as we look to get into the Pro League literally in just a matter of days. So as you guys know, Pro League is starting June 1st, and literally I think that's 2 days from now. So I'm excited because obviously more roster announcements are coming out. TSM has announced who they're going to be rocking with. You've got Gaming Gladiators making a big announcement as well. Unfortunate, sad news in today's video as well for one of the two organizations involved. Really sucks to see. You've got some drama going on as far as the Esports World Cup B stream is concerned. Also, the draft pick has taken place. Which POIs are going to which team? So first off, let's talk about TSM. TSM came out to say they have now officially welcomed Zaptoh. This is no surprise, of course. We saw that ever since E8 was going to be parting ways with Shuby, Zap decided he was going to go do some other stuff as well. Zach kind of got left and said, okay, what am I going to do? Zap was going to go play with TSM. TSM has been doing great, honestly, in my opinion, given the circumstances, not having an IGL, not even having a replacing it with an IGL, just making up a new IGL. Verholst has done a pretty solid bang up job, I got to say, and Zaptoh is quite the slayer to add to this roster. So very excited to see that he was officially announced. If you guys are wondering about the coaching situation, of course, it is expected that Raven would not be coming back to TSM, and instead Talmadge, of course, has been trialing and playing with these guys for quite some time. For whatever reason, I did not see that announcement coming from Talmadge today or TSM, so not sure what's going on. Maybe they'll announce him tomorrow or something, but interested to see exactly what TSM does this year. I know a lot of people are still rooting for them, considering that Hal has kind of become the villain at this point. Now, also, speaking of villain, I don't know if you consider this villain, but it's sad news, man. I was not expecting this. OMiT has been an organization that has been in Apex for a very short time, but it seems like they were dedicated. They love this scene. They want, and I can confirm this, right? I've spoke with some of the people involved. OMiT wanted to be in this scene from what I've heard, and they really were excited about this roster. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, Gaming Gladiator seems to have, not stole the roster, but I mean, they have picked up the roster that once was Team OMiT. So this is Lofka, this is Blast, Light, and obviously this entire roster has surprised people. They come through Pro League, they're struggling, they have a big final day to get them to land, they show up, they once again surprise people again. These guys are constantly, I think, breaking expectations. They qualify for Esports World Cup automatically. They almost already qualified for champs. And then you just think, okay, OMiT, obviously they've already made it known that they're dedicated, they love this roster, they want to keep it going. And then somehow along the lines, Gaming Gladiators drops their North American roster. They're leaving North America. They're going to EMEA, and they pick up Team OMiT. So very unexpected for a lot of people, I think. But I'm very excited to see where this organization and this team roster goes in the future. Speaking of organization and roster update changes, 9 Lives Esports also joining back into the ALGS scene. Former North American organization, this time going to go into the EMEA scene also. So Chrono Creative, obviously, been around the Apex scene for quite some time with Oversight Esports, going to be the manager for this team, announced that yesterday. Then comes the roster today. Of course, you know him. You'll probably love him. Vibes, obviously, former Alliance teammate. This guy has the experience, and he's been playing with this team for quite some time. I think that they've had some success, right? You've seen Vibes recently inside of Pro League. You saw Vibes kind of breaking this expectation ever since the Alliance move. What's he going to do? What's his future? And he's playing with guys that many people would not have considered their first pick, but he shows how much undiscovered talent is out there. These guys have been rocking it. They've been looking great. I'm excited to see them going back into the Pro League, and we'll see obviously how they perform in just a matter of days. Also, unfortunate news coming from Geared Gaming this time. This was a South American organization. These guys have been putting a lot of, I guess, time and effort into them. It was one of those things where, South America's not really loved on a state of, Apex doesn't give them a pro league, and we all feel bad for them. They deserve it. These players are good. What's going on? Why do they not give that to them? I don't really know at the end of the day, but I do know that Geared Gaming was trying their best to stay involved, get involved, and unfortunate stuff at the end of the day that things turned out the way they did. But basically, Geared said that they were closing operations. Very unfortunate at the end of the day, but obviously big decisions like this get made quite often. Also, it's very hard to sustain financially inside the scene, it seems. But also, you've got our Oversight Esports Scrim results. We're getting into the POI drafts in just a second. So how are the latest results for these teams? So Oxygen Esports get first place inside of the first set of scrims. Team Falcons, obviously this big super team, now under the Falcons banner, not under the Dark Zero banner any longer. If they get second place, Stallions in third place, another roster that people have been undermining. I think they've not been giving a lot of credit to. Everybody still kind of hates on Alberlelli to the sense of, you know, it's his fault. This is why the rosters fail that he plays on. He needs to blah, blah, blah. We've been saying that, you know, in general, Mac has been around the scene for a while. I want nothing but the best for this guy. And I'm so excited and glad he has finally found his way. I think a lot of us have been giving that support. Many of you in the comments have not. And obviously everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but Stallion's doing pretty consistent as of late. They've had some bad days just like everyone else, but I'm really looking forward to this team getting signed. Flat in 4th, Cloud9 in 5th, Most Hated in 6th, Elevate in 7th, Disguise in 8th, Native in 9th, Xset in 10th. Of course, on the flip side of things, you see some unfortunate stuff, right? SSG in 18th, not the usual here. You'll also see Tripods in 16th. So obviously they're going to have to step it up over the next set of days as we enter into Pro League. Then you go into the second set of scrims, Disguised in 1st, Luminosity in 2nd, Stallions once again in 3rd, Elevate in 4th, Oblivion in 5th, NGNL in 6th, Edgers in 7th, Liquid in 8th, Eternally C in 9th, and Flat in 10th. Unfortunate stuff on the backside. You've got Furia down here. You've got Not Moist down here. Complexity down here. Skidmark, TSM, Native, Cloud9 down here. Unfortunate stuff, but Oversight did put out a very good reminder. The competitive calendar will be updated for June once we confirm the official draft, so keep an eye out for that. Well, that did come out. Colgin over on the Cloud9 support staff with coaching, analysts, all this stuff comes out. Basically, the final drops for A versus B in North America. So you could see some of these are a little unexpected. I think some of the big ones to note is that, okay, SSG, right? One of the big, quote, super teams gets Lightning Rod. That's a big one, obviously, for them. LG gets a pretty good drop. Skidmark at the wall, I think, still pretty favorable. I really like some of these placements for some, and I think some of them are a little bit weird for others. You've got Falcons over here at Coastal side. I don't think they would normally want to land on the south side of the map like this, right? Dark Zero normally would land the mill. You'd have, you know, Lightning Rod for TSM. So they're definitely not playing at a POI that they're used to coming out of. At the end of the day, they have been practicing this draft for quite some time. I wouldn't really expect anything different as far as their placement is concerned. They're still probably going to figure out and adapt in a way that benefits themselves. Then you move over to the World's Edge side of things, and you've got E8, right, playing at a Sky East. Not the usual, but they do like to land Survey a lot, or at least Zach does, and they're pretty close to their location on the map. TSM now going to be taking Survey in this one. Falcons getting that Sky West Trials that they would prefer, right? This is the normal Dark Zero landing, so no surprise there. Then you've got Oxygen over at Thermal, a pretty big one. SSG coming out of Dome, probably not the usual, but you know, I guess at the end of the day, you know, this is to be expected, and I'm interested to see what becomes the new usual. Do you find teams favor like different POIs as far as what is currently meta? You know, you might have some of those things change. Some teams are definitely not getting pick of the litter. I think Moist does get a weird situation where they get stacks and kind of mod at the same time depending on which way they rotate. So some of this can kind of work out favorable by randomness, right? If a team just doesn't pick one of the POIs that they have options for, you may get a situation where you get 2 POIs to loot pretty quickly, and obviously that can really change the trajectory of the game. So excited to see this one. Then you move over to A versus C, and this was obviously a different story. So you've got Xset and SSG, the favorable Lightning Rod Zeus location. You got Disguised at the wall. You've got also, this was a weird one for me because I'm looking at this and I genuinely don't know how to predict how these maps are going to go because there's so much inexperience in a lot of these POIs for a lot of these teams, and it is kind of random now, so you never really know what you're going to get. Moving on to the World's Edge side of things, you're going to see SSG inside of the Sky East. Weave getting that big, you know, pick of the litter of Sky West and Trials, which is not the team you would normally see do this. So I'm excited to see what these semi-pro teams or teams that are in the Pro League now that recently got in, that are trying to prove themselves. What does it look like when they're in a Pro League lobby and they get pick of the litter or they get that golden egg type POI? Normally they would have to contest for, fight for. It's hard to do that. It's hard to beat TSM and all these guys. What happens when they just get that POI with this draft type system? The whole idea is that it should even itself out over the course of the Pro League. So Weave has their chance on this one. They won't get their chance down the line. So they'll get worse POIs as the Pro League progresses. So will it balance out in a way where they capitalize on nights like this? That's the storyline I think a lot of us are following. DSG still getting their thermal station, obviously, every chance they can. Falcon over at Lava Fisher, a little bit different of a scenario for them as well. Interested to see how it all plays out, though, at the end of the day. Lastly, wanted to mention some unfortunate, weird news coming out from this whole Saudi Arabia Esports World Cup. You guys know B-Stream is one of the more popular watch parties of all time, if I'm being honest. Like, literally, Scump's watch party for Call of Duty is probably like, you know, the only thing above what Nicewigg is doing right now for esports. But I just don't know of other creators that are getting as much people as the main broadcasts are at this point. Maybe there are some out there. I don't really keep up with League of Legends and Valorant like I should. But Nicewigg has done a great job with the B-Stream, and it keeps a lot of people involved and interested. And unfortunately, he had some concerning, not so good news regarding the B-Stream being at the Esports World Cup. This will be the end of the video, so watch the clip. Comment down below what you guys think, and until the next time, we'll see you later, Gators. Roll the clip.
B-Stream, EWC from Saudi. Actually, bro, they actually have no interest in signing the B-Stream at all for the EWC. We have talked to them, and they have no interest in making the B-Stream a part of the EWC at all. Not even like a entertaining offer. Like they haven't even like put in the thoughts of like even inviting the B-Stream in any way possible. Like I'm pretty sure they were like, yeah, you guys can do a tweet if you want. It's like a tweet. I'm good on that, big man. I'm gonna be real. I don't really care about your fucking money. I just want to be there. Like, I don't really give a fuck about your money. You can use all the money you're gonna pay me, bro, just to donate somewhere. I don't really give a fuck. I just like being at the lands and being the B-Stream.